Good morning. This is Michelle, your legal and academic coach, and this morning continues my series on planning. So if you're in academia or law, and this could be any number of people, it could be graduate students, tenure track postdocs, adjuncts, you get it. This is for you, but anyone will benefit. Here's the thing. Have you ever been in a position where you wanted something personally or professionally that you haven't been able to get? It just kind of remains out of reach. Or do you find yourself making your way towards a goal, but you find yourself stymied? Like, yeah, you just can't quite make it, right? And you want to start to move things in the right direction. Well, this is for you because the solution here is that you actually need a plan. Yes. I know what you're thinking. I hate planning. Planning is totally uninteresting. It never works. I hate it. It just never works. Or it's boring. Who wants to sit down and spend their time planning? It takes forever and you have to get it. No, maybe that's the case. But here's the thing that I have to ask you. How are things working out for you without a plan, right? Because if you're not achieving what you are, if you aren't achieving what you want, it's not working and maybe you should try something new, try a plan, right? Think about it. If you're going to go and travel somewhere, let's say, if you take an airline flight, right? All pilots have a plan. They have a map. And if they are 1 degree, it's such a small amount, but if they're 1 degree off of their goal, they can end up something like 230 miles off of their target, right? They have to have a plan. That's how they get you where you're trying to go. If you're trying to go from New York to London, they don't just freestyle it. They actually have a plan, right? Directions are that kind of plan. Directions are your roadmap to achieving what it is that you want to achieve. That's all this is. So I've done a multi-part series on planning. This is the 4th of them. You guys have communicated to me all kinds of things that you want to improve in your academic and legal lives. And I think a lot of the things that you bring up actually are very solvable by a plan, right? So if you look in the video section, you'll find a video on what are the steps towards your goal, right? You'll find something on what are the tasks that are part of your goal. How do you form that? What is your goal? And this week we're going to do accountability and execution. Accountability and execution. Next week is the last week of this series, and I'm going to tackle what if things go awry, right? How to tweak your plan, how to get back on your plan. So today, accountability and execution. That's what I'm going to focus on. So now that I said that, you need a plan to get from here to there, I have a confession to make. I too have laid out many a plan in my life to no avail, really. And one might want to say, oh, well, I give up. But here's the thing. Here's what I think goes wrong with my planning. I'm the kind of person who's like, I can do this by myself. I don't need any help. I've got this. I've got this. But here's the problem. My version of accountability is being incredibly hard on myself. Really hard on myself. If you heard the soundtrack, it wouldn't be pretty. And so when I'm finished being that hard on myself, I actually don't want to do what I wanted me to do in the first place because I feel like crap. So much for the plan. It doesn't actually work out. So doing it by myself actually sabotages my goals. And I don't know how that sits with you, right? But doing it by yourself and just insisting that I've got this, I don't need help, can actually get in the way of you achieving what you want to do. And I want you to do what it is that you want to do. If it is find the perfect partner, if it is finish the book, if it's start your own law firm that earns whatever in a year, I don't know what it is, but don't sabotage yourself. And one way of making sure you don't do that is to actually get some help, right? So here's the moral of the story, and excuse my language here. Accountability isn't supposed to be some kind of hard-ass, make you feel like crap kind of process. Really, it isn't. It's about building a community around you that celebrates your successes and offers tools to help you rise above your defeats. Let me repeat that because I think when you hear accountability, especially in our political discourse, it becomes this really hard-edged, mean kind of thing. And that's not what I'm talking about, right? Accountability is not supposed to be a hard-nosed, make you feel like crap every day kind of thing. No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, it's about building community around you. It's about bringing in people who can celebrate your successes and offers you tools to rise above your defeats that gets you pointed in the right direction so you head where you're trying to head. So to do this, I would recommend that you find between 1 and 3 people who can do just this for you. So this person who's going to help hold you responsible to your plan shouldn't be just a digital contact, right? It's not just the occasional email here and there. No, someone you want to actually make time for, and it's someone that you want to have you feel comfortable having contact with beyond email. You want to talk to them on the phone. I know now in this day of cellular phones, we do many things on those phones except talk to people on them, but I'm going to actually ask you to talk to people on them, right? You want to talk to people on the phone. You want to hear, when you're doing accountability, you want to hear the excitement in their voice. You want to hear when they're down. You want to, and when you hear that, you can actually help think through their plan with them, right? It should be somebody who isn't super competitive with you. You don't want someone who, is trying to undermine you and they're in there planning with you because you're trying to figure out how to screw up what you're doing. No, you want someone who is actually cheering for you. On the other hand, you don't want somebody who's all sunshine and rainbows either, because that's just not how this goes, right? You need someone who can say, you know what, I think you want to rethink this because you've got X, Y, and Z on your plate, and that might not be doable. Or I think you can push yourself harder. How are you going to do that? That's the kind of person that you want in as a partner who can hold you accountable for what you're doing. You also want someone who you can have intermittent contact with during the week that would include texts and emails and social media contact, right? You want to be able to say, how's it going, right? So now that you have this person, and I insist that you get on the phone with them, what is it that you would actually do with these weekly calls? So one thing you want to do, the first thing you want to do, and I think it's always the first thing you want to do, is to celebrate what went well. Celebrate something. Now, there are going to be some weeks where this seems impossible. And that celebration might be like, I'm on the phone with you. That is great. We're going to go with it, right? Some weeks you'll celebrate something and won't even be about your work or your dreams. It'll be about something else. But here's the thing. If things aren't going well, if you stay down in the dumps, and if you can't figure out something that's going well, it's not going to help you see the possibilities of how to make sure you're moving ahead with your plan. And we want you to be able to continue to move forward with your plan and see what's possible, right? So you want to start with a celebration. The second thing you want to do on your call is to say what didn't go well in your week. I meant to do X, Y, and Z, and that didn't get done, and blah, blah, blah. So you want to be able to say that as well. And you want to be able to kind of think through why that didn't go well. Not to be hard on yourself, but to figure out how to set up the conditions to make it go well the next time. Then you want to take the time to lay out, okay, so this is what happened last week. This week, this is actually what I want to accomplish, right? And the beauty of having a partner is that partner will be able to assess for you what is realistic. If you had a 20-point list and you got 3 points on that list according to your plan done last week, they're the person who's going to go, you know what, I think your plan's a little ambitious. Why don't you dial it back a little bit and just try 3 parts of that plan? Or that was easy, you got it done by Tuesday. Let's figure out how to step things up so you can get to your goal a little more quickly, right? And the other thing is that when you have this partner, in addition to helping you be realistic, you won't have to rely on yourself to make sure that what you're achieving what you want. And because that's really hard on us. So now that we have this partner, you want to be very clear that you say what you need from your partner, and every time you guys meet. And this might vary depending on where you are in your plan, etc., right? So you want to say, I need to accomplish X. I need you to check in with me on Friday to make sure I've done it. Or I need to get, for example, I need a daily count of people I contacted to be potential clients. This is particularly if you're a lawyer, right? That's something you would want someone to check in with you on. I need you to get a daily count of how many pages I wrote, right? So you might text me at 9 o'clock in the night and go, how much did you write? You get the point. That's the kind of accountability. You want to be able to do that with them and have some space in that relationship to do that. And this gives you a way of actually executing what you want to do. You're not on your own, and it'll make it so much easier. So I know what you're thinking. Hey, what if I just don't like my partner anymore? What if just life gets in the way and I stop calling them and they stop calling me? What do I do with that relationship then? So I think it's an important, it's always important to do this with any relationship, but take a step back and assess what's actually going on in that relationship, right? Um, so there might be many parts to this, right? Maybe you haven't done any work and you actually don't want to say anything about that, but that's why you have the partner, so they can go, hey, what's going on? Is it, is there too much going on with the children? Is it whatever it is? But you want to be able to check in and say, I haven't done any work because these things, the sky's falling, right? And then you can be easy on yourself. So you want to know what's keeping you from doing the work. You want to know, how does it feel when you do it? If it doesn't feel like, if you don't feel a charge in a good way for doing the work, there's something wrong, right? There's something wrong. And maybe the goal isn't right. Maybe the step isn't right in the goal, something. But you can talk about that with your partner and try to help think through what's not quite right, that you're not getting where you're trying to go. And you want to be able to figure out what you need to get going on your work again, right? So this assumes that it's not the person, but it's actually the thing that you're trying to accomplish. But maybe there is something off with your partner. I don't know. So the first question to ask is, what is off about them? You want to be really concrete and specific about this. And that may not be a conversation you want to have with your partner yet, right? You might want to journal about it. Like, they remind me of my Uncle Joe who used to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, now that I know that they remind me of my Uncle Joe and they're not Uncle Joe, maybe I can carry on with this. Or maybe not, right? You want to know, think about, again, how does it feel when you get off the phone with them? Do you feel like a piece of crap? Well, it's not where we're trying to go with this. Or maybe you just feel, whatever. You need to investigate those feelings, and, don't always use feelings as a guide for action, but that might be a sign that something's really off as well. Is there something that you need from that person that you're not getting? Like, I would have felt better about that call if you had done X, Y, and Z. And then you need to actually tell them that and give them a chance to meet those expectations. It's like any other relationship you have in your life, right? These are all things that we should be doing. We all don't, but that's part of what we need to do, right? And if once you tell that person what it is that you need, assess whether or not they can actually do it, right? You go on the next call, the next 3 calls, and they do the same old stupid thing that's not quite working, then maybe they can't actually deliver what you want. And at that point, you need to make a decision whether or not you should find somebody else. Does that make sense? And you want to be as transparent as possible about that at every point with your accountability partner. So today, I've done this whole series on planning. I'm going to do one more installment next week. But don't do it alone. Just because you have a plan doesn't mean you have to go off into the wild blue yonder by yourself. You don't have to do this alone. So I encourage you to find an accountability partner and figure out how to bring someone with you. You're going to get a lot out of it. Your partner is going to get a ton out of it. Do this together, right? So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And I just have a couple things to ask of you to do. If you haven't already, on the page, I think it's up there actually, like the page, just like the page, all right? If you watch this later and you have any comments or questions or reactions that you want to share with me, please do. I will look at those. And if you have questions, I'll try to answer them at another point in the comment section as well. And who knows, maybe your question will give me thoughts about a new video, right? And if you need one-on-one help, send me a note and I'd be happy to consult with you. Coaches make great accountability partners, so I'm happy to do that with you. Like I said, message me. We'll figure out how to get together and if we could work well together, right? If you are someone in academia, if you scroll down on the lower left side of the page, and I think that's right if you're watching this, so the lower left side of the page, what you need to do is sign up for my newsletter, right? There's actually a link for newsletter. Go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. You get tips of how to handle things every month. This month, I'm going to be talking about the summer and dealing with the summer. If you're a lawyer, I'm going to put the link to my newsletter in the comment box below, and go ahead and sign up that way. And a couple more things. If you're a lawyer, click sign in. Sign up, because there I have an offering for you. It's called my Tribe of Legal Warriors. And there, if you are a woman who is practicing law, I don't care how or what capacity or any of it, just consider it. Here's a tribe of your women who are going through the same profession that you get to spend time with together, to plan with together, to achieve your hopes and dreams with together, with resource, with me hanging in with you in many different ways. So click on sign up and you will be led to the page where you can register for Tribe of Legal Warriors. Wednesday's big day here for me. At 11 a.m. there's one academic thing. Tell me one thing in academia that if you could change in your daily life would improve your job. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And when you tell me that one thing you want to change, make sure you write #1 academic thing on Twitter. I want to hear from you about that. And I do the same thing for lawyers, but that's one legal thing. And it's at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Tell me one thing in your practice that you would like to change that would make your job go so much better. All right. I will see you here next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the last in my installment on planning. Have a great day.